It's Ken Harbaugh with Against All Enemies on the MeidasTouch Network. In Donald Trump's Truth Social post naming JD Vance as his running mate, Trump describes Vance as a former president of the Yale Law Veterans Association. That is an organization I co-founded while at Yale Law School as a way to support veterans who wanted to continue their service to the country through the law. In the past 24 hours, I have spoken with multiple people who held leadership positions in the Yale Law Veterans Association, including one who knew JD Vance quite well. JD Vance does not represent the values we tried to advance. Over the coming weeks, I'm going to be sharing some of what those close to Vance have said about him. A moral reckoning is coming. You're going to hear more and more vets hold him accountable. His story is so familiar. A once respected friend and colleague who tried to orbit the political black hole that is Donald Trump and never escaped. Those who knew JD in law school say that he was, at least superficially, a thoughtful, reasonable person. Back then, he recognized the threat that Donald Trump posed. He referred to Trump as cultural heroin and called him America's Hitler. Here's a brief rundown from Fox News, no less, of Vance's statements about the former president.
It is an evolution, and I know you've been asked about this before, about past comments that you've made about Donald Trump. You've said, I'm a never Trump guy, never liked him, terrible candidate, idiot if you voted for him, might be America's Hitler, might be a cynical a-hole, cultural heroin, noxious and reprehensible. Those are things that the left is going to come after you, and they're probably going to be put in ads should you be chosen as the VP pick. How do you deal with them now?
What most people did not know about JD Vance when he was at Yale Law School and when he was speaking out against Donald Trump is how opportunism defines everything about him. He was critical of Trump when it was easy to be critical of Trump. But when it became apparent that Donald Trump would take over the reins of the Republican Party and then effect a wholesale takeover of the conservative movement, well, that's where JD Vance decided he had to be. Here he is justifying that pivot.
Mr. Vance, we do begin with you. You've admitted you've changed your mind on Donald Trump, but in the past you've said, quote, I'm a never Trump guy, quote, my God, what an idiot, and quote, God wants better of us. All statements you have either said or tweeted about Donald Trump at some point. The question, you have 60 seconds, why should Trump voters, Trump supporters, vote for you?
Yeah, look, I mean, all of us say stupid things, and I happen to say stupid things very publicly. I've been very public about the fact that I voted for the president in 2020, that I was wrong about the president back in 2015, 2016, and that he's been the greatest president of my lifetime for the very simple reason, there are many, but one very important reason is that he revealed the corruption in Washington, D.C. I mean, who would have believed 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that the FBI would actually investigate illegally, get an illegal wiretap on a sitting U.S. presidential candidate? We saw that. Trump revealed it, and he revealed it in a way that showed us the stakes of the fight, which is why I'm running for this office in the first place.
At least the first part of that answer is true, where Vance said, I happen to say stupid things very publicly. As Donald Trump's VP pick, he fits. JD Vance is willing to say and do anything to gain power, to compromise whatever integrity he once had to win Trump's favor. That, ultimately, is why he was chosen. As low as every other contender was willing to stoop to kiss Trump's ring, and we all saw how Marco Rubio and Tim Scott and the others behaved, it was JD Vance who humiliated himself the most. This is going to be a short post today, but I and others will have much more to say very soon about JD Vance. I've got interviews scheduled with people I know you'll want to hear from. Let me leave you with this quote from JD Vance's own roommate at Yale Law School, the one Vance texted saying that Trump could be America's Hitler. Obviously, he's a sellout, but the bigger deal is he's angry and vindictive, the perfect fit for Trump's revenge. JD's rise is a triumph for angry jerks everywhere. This is who Donald Trump chose to be his vice presidential running mate. He really is the perfect fit for a candidate who has declared that his second term will be about vengeance. We're going to do everything we can to tell you the truth about JD Vance. If you haven't already, subscribe to the MeidasTouch Network and to my YouTube channel at @team_Harbaugh. And if you want to help get the word out, check out Veterans for Responsible Leadership at VFRL.org. We could use your support. Thanks.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.